Let's talk about another little hidden spoiler. If you guys know about the filter, the item filter coming out soon, this is an example of it. But if you pay attention here, there's a new gem that kind of teased about. And I know Pox in particular would like to talk about summoner meta and what does it mean. There's summon chaos golem sitting there on the floor. What does that mean for summoners? We already have specters, zombies, auras. You're already full up on slots. Does this mean that some summoners, if this gem is all it's cracked out to be, will change the entire meta of summoners? Or will we see more than just your standard cookie cutter summoner?
I think you're drawing a little bit from a name.
Huh?
This is gonna change the entire meta.
It will. It will. You stop it,
Okay.
Ziggy.
So let me just log into my. I'm gonna log into my character so you guys can talk really fast, and then when I get it on, I'll talk about the gems I have and just showing what you can kind of replace and what you cannot. But of course, I don't speak for every summoner. I just speak for a summoner.
Here's the thing. I'm seeing Chaos Golem. We see the Warcry. What is the Warcry? The Abyssal. There's two. How many wheels of Chaos nodes are on the tree? Two.
That won't work for summons. That won't work
Well,
for
I
minions.
understand that, but we're seeing all this Chaos stuff. You got the Warcry. You got the Chaos Golem. Is Chaos going to get some love? I mean, because I'd love to do, delay build a little bit and just run around and, drop some of this here and there, and then the Chaos damage just really takes it, so you're not having to play, Poison Trapper all the time. Or, something different, man. You can take this Warcry and make it an actual main part of your build.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we get a proper chaos spell on top of these other things, then I think it'll be path of chaos. We'll get a new chaos meta. I'm excited. I want to see some more chaos action happening.
I would love to see some chaos. I mean, so many times you look at the PoE builder site or wherever, and you're like, yo, this is a pretty good nose, but man, they're so far out of the way for what I want to do. You just end up not doing them, or down at the bottom next to the do list with the bloodletting, damage over time builds. There's something to it, but man, it sure is a mess to try to get it done though.
Okay, so on the topic of summoners still, like I said, I just speak for my summoner, who's 92, almost 93. But I have, just on this summoner, as an example, no space on my character, and I use a 4-link, and I actually still need one other gem slot, and I'm already using one. So optimally, to play my summoner with a 4-link, I need 2 unset rings, and everything is still maxed out. So just going over quick links. In my chess piece, I've got a Curse on Hit setup, which is common for summoners because they don't have too much mana regen depending on your build. So it's Elemental Weakness, Vulnerability, Curse on Hit, Arc. Then I've got Convocation, which is also in there, and Vol Discipline, which goes in that 6 socket. My Spectres are on my boots, which would be Raise Spectre, Minion Damage, Echo, and Added Fire, because as of right now you need to have your Spectres. My Zombies are in your helmet, because your helmet is going to be with +2 minions. So it's Multi-Strike, Melee Fizz, Added Fire, Raise Zombie. Now my Gloves is something you could replace because it's auras. It would be Generosity, Reduced Mana, Haste, and Hatred. So that's auras. Everyone plays different auras. You can do that. My shield is Prism Guardian for additional auras, which is Reduced Mana, Purity of Elements, Discipline. And then my weapon is Increased Duration, Vol Haste, and Flesh Offering. You pretty much have to have Flesh or Bone Offering on a summoner. If you're not using Vol Haste on a summoner, I'm not going to say you're doing something wrong, but you've got a horde of minions, making them, like, Vol Haste is absolutely insane. And then from the chest piece, you could drop a Vol Gem, but normally what I would do is, whenever I need to use Vol Discipline for, like, a chest, I would just swap it with Flesh Offering, and then it gets increased duration. And in my ring, I have Desecrate. My second unset ring would be...
Convocation? Or
no, I have
Guardian?
Enemy Guardian would be my second unset. So, for my specific character, there's literally nothing I could drop unless Summon Chaos Golem is like this absolute insane thing that's going to take place of 2 auras, or Vol Gems, or Spectres, or Summons. So, but it's not just me. A lot of people have this issue as well.
Well, I'm hoping that it gives... They're strong enough where you can actually choose what you want. Do you want some zombies and golem? Do you want zombies and specters? Do you want specters and golem? Like, the D2 style summoner was so freaking fun, and I would love to see that come back. You had your skeletons, your skeletal casters, you had your skeletal minions, and then you had a slew of different golems, and then you still had your reanimate. You run around with a bunch of cows. I remember seeing those guys all the damn time. They reanimate deads.
Reanimated cows. Moo.
Yeah. And I would love to see that meta type again, and I hope this does change it. We haven't seen golems, and hopefully he's just as cute as the little golems that Nice spawns over there on
The little midget ones?
The little midget ones. I hope he looks just like that, where they run like really fast.
What would you like to see, Pox, from a summon Chaos Golem that would make it worth using over a Spectre? Keeping in mind that Spectres have bobbles currently.
Mechanic-wise, I don't... Probably a taunt. Something that enables the minion to taunt. I don't know how that's going to work for parties, but your Spectres you use for two, I guess like 3 scenarios. A, because you like how they look. B, because you want proximity shield. Or C, because you're testing out new things. That's usually... But 99% of the time, you're using Evangelists. And they offer you protection. They offer you extreme amounts of damage because they synergize so well with their attack. And they offer you proximity shield, which you don't always use the proximity shield as defense, but it just is there for defense. So like random projectiles are flying and you're just in the proximity shield, and it ends up doing a lot of like defense for you. And dropping your Spectres means you're dropping AoE, because as zombies would have melee splash or something, or you know, if you're using Montregols, they have the corpse explosion effect. You still need something that's like a hard-on like AoE smack. So I don't know, something defensive in my opinion is what would be needed if you're dropping a Spectre.
Golems were very, very defensive in D2 as well. Like you think of a golem, you think this rock tank that does different things. Yeah. I mean, I
don't think you'll get that from a Chaos Golem. I'm expecting something like a D-Gen Bear.
Well, hopefully D-Gen Bear's in that, and then you're like happy as hell, run around with vulnerability.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind, by any means, I don't mind if they're trying to make, you know, create diversity where you have to drop this or you have to drop that, or maybe the auras won't affect the golem for some reason, and then you'll end up dropping auras. I don't mind that at all. I just want to make sure that the golem is going to have a place in a regular summon build, I guess, rather than making like a full... I mean, I don't know. I just want to make sure that the golem is actually going to have a use. Because, like, my summoner right now, I mean, I can do pretty much everything on it, and I have no issues, so I don't know where the golem would come in. But I want the golem to have a purpose in a summoner build.
There you go.
Yeah,
so
we could say, like, separate golem builds or something.
Yes.
But
How's, I've only played a few summoner builds, but low levels, but how's the aggro when you have all your summons out? How's the aggro to you as opposed to the minions?
I don't ever... Nothing ever hits me. So I've got... If I didn't use Montregols, I would have 13 minions, but Montregols makes it so I've got 5 zombies and 3 Spectres. 90% of the time, everything is hitting my summons, since no one is using Enduring Cry, if it's just this scenario, so everything's in the front already. If you're using, like, Flesh Offering, which gives them 40% increased movement speed, your zombies they're just running, like, they're just up in the front in everything's face, and nothing usually gets to the back line, because there's 5 minions in the front already. So think of, like, 5 players in your party up in the front, usually nothing's going to hit the back. There are occasional things where a mob will leap slam to, you know, like a Spectre, and then it's in your face, or a roll will charge in between a zombie and hit you, but, like, majority of the time, there's nothing in your face. Slight exceptions as well is, like, if you're, say you're running, like, Villa map, where there's a lot of open rooms, or, like, Scepter of God, you'll walk into the room, but then you'll just hit Convocation, summon all your minions, and then your minions spread out, and then you're fine.
Right, so a taunt on the golem would even further amplify that effect then.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I could see that working pretty good for summoners. I mean, if you're being a good mechanic at least.
If you're dropping your zombies for it, absolutely, because I mean it really depends on what you're swapping out.
Agreed.
It sounds like it'll be a single thing that you summon, but it could be multiple things. There's nothing saying you couldn't summon multiple Chaos Golems. They could be a shorter duration thing, a bit like SRS, but maybe longer. I don't know. Or maybe we're interpreting the word Chaos completely incorrectly, and maybe, just maybe, it's actually animate Chaos Orb. Actually animating a whirlwind of Chaos Orbs.
Well, I mean, they have a Berserker mod in the game. Why not throw that on a Chaos? He's just going crazy. And just a massive DPS thing.
New currency sync skill. I'm calling it now.
Why isn't your hat on when you're saying this?
Yes. Sorry.
There we go. Thank you.
Maybe it animates Chaos Orbs. My hat's getting a little mangled.
How about you animate the Exalted Orb and each one of the faces shoots out the different element or something?
I would
maybe
love...
Exalted Golem soon.
With the discussion of revamping old skills earlier, I would like to see Summon Skeleton not be worthless. It is always a utility. I mean, it's never used for damage, and you know, a lot of those skills people want to actually play without having to make a struggle build around. Yes, you could say someone made a viable Shock Nova build, but that guy probably spent a lot of time to try and do it. You know, things like that.
I'd like to see Elemental Hit get some more love.
Everybody, man, that thing has been
I mean,
preached for years.
I was
That's a boring skill anyway.
I was looking into it, and I was taking your Elemental Reeve, max AO Reeve, and just taking out the AOE on it, and then throwing the Elemental Hit in there with a little bit of melee splash.
No damage. And had
Did
a million mana
absolutely nothing. But I figure, of course, it was only level 1. But maybe Elemental Equilibrium can do something for it. I don't know. I don't think it's just a dead skill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to see it because the idea of it is intriguing. But
If they make an Elemental Hit strong, they need to also make the animation not just firing a default attack.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
You
true.
give it
Please.
some sort of like
We already have
fire,
Splitter
ice,
and
and
Frenzy for
lightning hit. You know, elemental hits. It comes up all the damn time for something that's played once every never. I mean, Christ already. Just kill it. Throw it in the pile,
All right,
never to be
get
seen
rid of
again.
Throw it in the void.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, obviously they're
Back
probably
on
retuning.
skeletons, because you mentioned that. From talking with Angry A, it seems like the damage penalty that they have is the problem, and the fact that it stops them from even working with minion instability. Like, it just becomes impossible to scale the damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea that you could make like a skeleton cannon, like a totem that summons skeletons that explodes on the enemy or something, but the damage just can't be scaled at this point. So it seems like Summon Skeleton maybe does need some revamp with the damage penalty it has.
I mean, instead
like
of
to see
just making
skeleton
them the
builds.
duration skill, you know, we already have Summon Raging Spirits. That's obviously the new duration summoner skill. It'd be cool to actually make a horde of skeletons that follow you around, because I don't see anything wrong with that. Or make them ranged, just make them like summon ranged skeleton. Because, like you said, the elemental penalty, I think they take 50% less effectiveness from elemental damage.
Yeah.
They deal 50% less damage. So no hatred, anger, wrath. You can't even make an elemental one. Like, elemental animator is a not super plate spec, but it's super viable and solid. And it far surpasses anything skeletons can do.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you
Yeah, it'd be
imagine?
nice to see some skillies doing that.
Well, I mean, Val Summon Skeletons is so strong too.
Yep. But
It's so
just like
good.
meat shield, and then that random general can murder some things.
God, it's crazy.
Let's see. So we got a lot of quality of life discussion to talk about, and let's go back to that image we just had up, because it kind of segues really nice, you know.
Oh, this image though.
This has been something we've needed for pretty much the beginning of time. You know, if you've ever played Torchlight 2, they have a built-in item filter, and that game is super indie and, you know, not very popular in the ARPG, and it's nice to see that GGG's finally implemented a way that we can develop our own item filters. There is a bunch of them already being made by people like MNLOL and Gouda, among other people on the Reddit site and PoE forums. This is something that we've needed for a while, you know, where you could have white items not show up if you don't want them to, or only high item level ones, or you could change the color of an Exalted Orb so it screams at you instead of walking away.
Instead of half the chat, yo, you missed a Chaos Orb.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for this. Oh my god.
I'm excited, but that just means Ziggy, or not Ziggy, but Zeno, you can't troll him. I didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
Can't troll him no more, man.
I love that. You missed Exalted back there, Zeno, and you just walk around for 20 minutes. I don't see it.
I've actually missed an Exalted Orb before.
Wow.
So I'm not. I miss because I don't. If I'm like speed running through maps, especially on a Prolif build where I'm just going, I miss everything. Poxy missed a 6-hawk. No, I didn't. It's not there. So
Yeah.
I can't wait. Oh my goodness.
I think it's great. Some of the items that you're actually looking for, you code a certain color. Like, oh, that's green. I gotta go get that thing. Let's
Yep.
actually take a look at and see what this is and how can I fit it into my build.
Exactly. It kind of adds like a little new miniature hype every time it drops. You get to see it. So rather than the same bland color all over again, I think it's really neat.
I think it's a good thing, man. Long awaited, I guess. Diablo had something similar to this with their little beams of light that was pretty cool, and little icons on the map or whatever. But this is I think this is a little bit better because it's actually you can actually, bam, it's right there. You can make it whatever ugly color you want it. If you want it like puce, you can have it puce, man.
I'm pretty sure a scroll fragment makes the same sound as an Exalted Orb drop.
No.
Or is it Armor Scrap?
No, it's Blessed
Blessed?
Orbs, Divine
Yeah.
Orbs, Exalted Orbs, and I think Regal Orbs maybe as well. and then Eternals.
Yeah, I know Blessed is the same as a mirror.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I was very surprised when I read this post. That I didn't believe it when people were telling me the game was getting loot fill. I was like, no way. I didn't think this would ever happen. Because so many times ZiggyD has said that you need to see the trash items to be able to value the good items, and people have sort of just taken the stance, you know, they want you to take some time and slow down and have to sort through loot. But now you can literally set a filter up. It's extremely customizable. And firstly, if they were going to implement something like this, they had to make it extremely customizable.
Yes.
Because all loot in Path of Exile has potential value. Nearly all loot, like white items. You know, there's a lot of white items that you need to be able to pick up. So good that they've made it super customizable. But now you're going to be able to customize it to the point where the only things you see on screen are things that you want to pick up. So you're picking up everything that you see. And it's a good counter to when you're playing in a party and the entire screen is full of loot tags. It's a great fix.
Now, did they say? I'm sorry.
No, go on.
Did they say that you were going to be able to say you want your regal recipe, and are they going to be able to do those items at 75 specifically?
Yeah, you can specifically tag individual bases, individual item levels, individual drop levels. You know, you can get as detailed as you want with it. Pretty much,
awesome.
You can pretty much do anything you'd want to do with it as far as loot goes.
Yeah,
the only thing I think is not available is super contextual stuff. So things like saying, if my character is this level, show this. I think you can't do that, but you can do stuff like show all items below level 35. And
this is all going to be personally customizable. Man, how many times are people going to come in here and chat, yo, what numbers are you using for this? I can see that. I can see that coming.
So well, then you're going to have to just make a new mod for that.
Here's my new bot command.
Yep.
Yeah. To give an example, I want to show like how awesome this is. So when we were talking about picking up white items before, just so people know, when you hit about 70 plus maps or so, you've got rings and accessories you want to just accessories in general that you want to alch. So you've got like 2 stone rings or certain bases on amulets that have that can roll like 24 int, 24 dex, etc. So that's one thing you'd pick up. Leather belts people want to pick up. When you start getting to 76 plus item level, 77 plus item level, you start getting like Harbinger bows, Ambusher daggers, etc. And you're going to try to craft those as well. Vol regalias. And then you have items you want to chance. So then even more white items that you want to pick up to chance to try to get into uniques as well, just in general. So there's and that's just a few of the many things that you want to pick up. You can set it so, granite flasks, jade flasks, etc. I'm sure you could probably do quality of flasks that people always, where are my baubles? I don't have whetstones, etc. So it's like little things that add up to be huge for people who don't know too much of the end game of PoE.
It's true. It's true.
Here's a question I want to ask you guys about this. So it looks like it's going to be in a separate text document file in one of the Path of Exile folders, and that if you're going to make your own custom one, you need to kind of learn how it's kind of like coding, right? You need to learn how to code it, or you need to go to an external tool and then develop your thing. You need to know what items you want to put in there, and then you need to build it. So it's something currently that's not very user-friendly. How do you guys feel about that in particular?
I don't mind it because there's a lot of people out there who are familiar with it and they are creating a bunch of different things. And I think I don't know. There's a lot of people who, instead of playing the game, they'd rather develop things like this. They actually get off on that kind of thing. Like, I don't know if you've ever met MLL. He's done the passive skill tree planner that I always use. He does things like this, and I think it's kind of nice because, if you may never understand how it functions and works, let the other guys mess with it. Just copy the one that you want, put it in there. It's no different than finding your Winamp scan back in the 90s,
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, Winamp taking me back, bro.
Really whips the llama's ass.
I think as long as it's user friendly, whatever that anybody else puts it in there, anybody going to be able to pick it up pretty quick. Now the actual coding part of it, I need to have 255 on this number and 136 on this to get a specific color. You can find that on the internet already. So I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see what some of these guys come up with. You just throw this in there and then type this number in, and you're good to go. So, I think that's going to be fun to just mess around with, and going into Zeno's stream where he's got green and blue, and then going to my stream and I got purple and an ugly ass yellow. So, just to see what the different colors are.
It might be a bit tricky for new people to like look at streams and see if you have wildly different color setup. I think I'm gonna try and use a pretty natural setup, like something that's fairly similar to the base game and only filters out some stuff, not like super heavy-handed. But we'll see. I'll see how it goes. The reason I asked that question about how you feel about it not being user-friendly is I actually think it's a very good thing that it's not user-friendly, because if this was in-game, an option in-game, like a menu thing, yeah. You need to know in Path of Exile to be able to make a loot filter for yourself. You need to know what is worth filtering out and what isn't. And new players don't know that, you know, like, they don't know that the chromatic items are worth picking up. That they would just be like, oh, white items, no one cares about white items, filter all white items out. 5 and 6 licks raining from the heavens, they don't know anything about it. Yep. So I think it's actually good that it's behind this wall of knowledge to be even able to set this up so that people aren't missing out, so that, you know, they start to learn the game, and then they're like, oh, you know, there's these loot filter things, then they can start, you know, copying from other people and setting up their own loot filters, hopefully once they have the knowledge to be able to make use of it intelligently.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's one of those things where it's actually the hex color is easy to set up, but knowing what to filter out is more of the challenge for the player. You know, item level 75 rings, if it's a 2-stone, I'm picking it up, I don't care. If it's 75 plus and a 2-stone, I want it. You know, just because of Regal Recipe, you know, at 76, I think that's Tier 1 Wed. You get all the, you know, Tier 1 Mana Regeneration at 79, things like that. Or I think it's 79. But things like that, I always want to pick up 2-stone rings at that freaking item level. Well, some people don't know that. They might just say, any ring that's white, I don't want it. And they're missing out.
I think that's the biggest thing for a new player, as I'm relatively new to the game. Getting to end-game. What is the actual end-game, and what items that you are looking for, because I see people alching rings all the time, and I'm like, oh, cool. I start picking up those type of rings, and I'm like, I'm alching, and I'm wasting all this currency on items that, you know, I'm like, well, this is just, all these things just rolled like crap. Let's just throw it out, you know? I mean, so yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be a definite learning curve for some of the newer players like myself. So
I think this is actually a very interesting potential learning tool. I'm very excited about this from the point of view of as a learning tool, because I could develop a template that highlights specific things and like have a specific key that goes with the template that says this highlight equals you should alch and use this in the Chaos Orb recipe. So use this as an actual tool to teach people how to approach looting and vendor recipes and all that sort of thing.
ZiggyD's Vendor Recipes 101.
Speaking of, rest in peace, PoE mods.
Yeah, goodbye. I use that site a lot. It was out of date a bit, but
yeah.
Someone else, I think, is copying it and updating it.
It's just not the same without it, man. It's just not the same.
Yeah, that was a super useful site. That's
so easy, so simple. Crit multi was always off, but other than that, you're good.
Yeah, it was just a really well laid out and designed tool for any sort of crafting. I refer to it constantly, like daily in Path of Exile.
Yeah.
Yep. So I hope that someone quickly... I know Green Dude was looking to set up that based on copying over
it's back up.
It's back up now?
That's what they're saying.
Oh, it's back up.
Let's click.
It's up. Oh, it's back up.
Meanwhile, we're probably going to crash the site.
Uh-oh.
So what happened was the domain went down, it wasn't renewed, and we assumed that the owner just just disappeared, but it looks like he saw people's interest in it and renewed it or something, I guess.
Crit multiplier's still off, don't worry guys.
It does need updating. Hopefully we can get it updated. But I would be happy if someone else developed another tool like this that was up to date.
Yes. So simple, so easy, so amazing.
I've seen a lot of people using...
You could be looking... We could be looking at a cached version, maybe.
It's poemods.com, not poe.mods. It's poemods.com. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's good. Good news, it's back up then. Good.
Awesome. Now if we just get some of those things updated, we'll be good to go. What else have we seen in the QL department? We've got a bunch of things that we don't have the pictures to display for you guys, but now there'll be, if you like having the health bars above the enemies you're facing, there will now be a health, energy shield, and mana bar option to put above your character, so you don't always have to stare at those little globes in the bottom corners. Oh,
it's kind of, to be honest, the globes are nice and they look real pretty, but it's kind of out of the way. When all our actions are way up above it, it's kind of hard for... I have problems. I bled out so many times in this game that I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I was taking damage, and now at least I can see my life draining.
If you're using a bigger monitor, it's worse as well. Like I know some people play on 27 inches and stuff, and
Playing a 42.
it's like way out of your vision.
Yeah.
Playing a dang 42-inch, it's painful.
You're playing on a 42-inch.
A 42.
Yeah. I thought you were a 32-inch.
I'm pretty sure it's a 40.
You feel like sitting pretty close using a screen size that big. It's like the life bar's not even in your field of view.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. No,
Maybe it's 32.
I think it's going to be a big tool for a lot of stupid. Oh my God! I have full flasks. I didn't even know. It's going to go away, and I think that's going to help people progress even further.
We also had some other things. Chat. Now you can resize chat and change the size of the font in chat. It's probably a 32, not a 42.
That's huge. I love that because how many times are you playing and you got the trade chat up and it just takes up all your screen and I'm like, oh, turn that off. But now I'm missing out on all this other stuff that I could be purchasing for chaos when it's and it's all worth the price.
And what else did we have in quality of life department? I know there was others. Let me take a look here at the primer. The experience bar now shows experience per hour for all of you guys out there.
That's an interesting change. How do you feel about that one?
Well, George, you may know of him. He's white, and usually he's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. But it help those kind of people who like white Georges.
Actually, I really like the experience. It's the experience per hour they're showing, or is
yes,
it?
experience per hour.
So I like it a lot, and the reason why I enjoy it is when I'm competing pretty seriously, like the first couple days of the race, it's important to know, at least for me, how much experience I'm gaining per hour. And usually I look up this is not an actual streamer, but there's a bot that has it up, that has like the statistics up at all times, and it's cool to see how much experience you're gaining, like your group versus another group, and you can tell if you need to speed up or if you can start slowing down, if you like how fast you need to roll your maps, etc. So to me, I really like it. It's going to be really cool for me. Assuming I can figure out the other person as well.
It's really good. So if you can compare your specs.
Yes.
This is how much experience I'm getting this go around. This guy. The whole clear speed in general. You can preach all you want about clear speed, but obviously some specs will never top other ones, and you can really see and push yourself to actually figure out your experience per hour.
We might get people saying instead of clear speed, XP per hour from now on. How much XP per hour is this build?
I don't know, man. I think just to play devil's advocate here, I don't really care. I don't care how much experience I'm getting an hour. The thing is at the end of the day, am I alive? I think that's the biggest thing for a newer player to hardcore is am I going to be alive at the end? Am I going to, when you go into a race environment, an hour-long race, how much experience did you get an hour? You can see that. Or if it's a 4-hour race or something, where am I stacking up? Then that's an issue. But as for regular gameplay, I don't think it's very important, honestly.
It's true. Some people, I more times than not, I'm like, I'm alive. I don't care. I can log off today knowing I'm alive. Right. So I feel that. Some other quality of life changes is from now on, when you hold Alt over your item, it will show the item level. Praise be to RNGesus. We've needed this forever.
That is amazing. How many times is this chaos worthy? Or is this the recipe time? But it is now because I hit Alt. I think that's good, and you don't have to keep hitting Enter and up and redoing item levels on everything that you have in your stash.
There's also an in-game clock now, which thank God I don't have to press Alt Tab and go down to my start menu, and yay. In-game clock is huge.
That'll maybe remind me to take breaks. So that should be good.
The way how I know I've been streaming, I just do uptime in my own chat, and it's like, what time is it? I don't know. 5 hours and 31 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And the guild stash now supports the item highlighting, which is, it's just a little further take on the current stash thing.
Right. How many times? It's on page 3. Well, we're at on page 3. Well, there you go.
It's pretty nice having these quality of life changes. Most of these have been suggested by the community, and there's still plenty more I'm sure GG will implement in the future. Actually, I think Chris Wilson said they were all suggested by the community, so I'm glad GGG's listening to us with some things, and it's not just a Rito please wine fest.
This is our biggest quality of life patch as well. Like these changes, this is the most we've ever gotten in a single patch. And people have been saying, for a while now, they they would be okay with just getting a quality of life patch with no content. Well, we're getting content and quality of life all in the one go.
Yeah,
Perfect timing for it.
This is huge. Like, I can't stress how awesome the item filtering is going to be in general. Like, I guarantee you it's going to be like, people are never even going to know that these things drop, and they put in their item filter, and it's like, wow, that, like, I didn't know Horror drops all, like, it's going to happen.
No.
You know what we need in addition to that? Stash sorting, auto sort for stash.
An auto sort button.
Auto sort for stash plus loot filter plus trading system overhaul.
Biggest quality of life. When the day this drops, I'm gonna like just throw money at GGG. You ready for it? Reclaim all microtransactions.
There you go.
When that
Man,
happens,
I have lost so much. God, I lost my footprints for almost a month and a half because I couldn't find the boots that had them on there until I, go into procurement and then have to find it that way. But yeah, reclaim it all. That'd be awesome.
I know Chris Wilson said on episode 20 it's really hard to do that, but I have faith. I got faith. Oh man.
Pretty exciting. Yeah, I wonder if we'll get the trade because they've done so much quality of life stuff. I feel like we won't be getting a trading system overhaul with Act 4 just because they've done so much already. But I still hope we do. As I said in the last podcast, I think it's pretty important. But all these nice quality of life changes are good. Just the sort of things that make the game a lot more pleasant to play, which helps keep people around and coming back. It's good stuff. It'll be hard to play other action RPGs in the future without a lot of these quality of life stuff we're getting in this, especially things like the loot filter.
I agree.
I think an auto loot in your actual inventory when you pick it up would probably be awesome as well.
Auto loot?
Or not auto loot, but
auto
sort. Yeah.
You don't like playing Tetris?
I was going to say, how many times have you guys played Tetris?
Grim Dawn has
like,
that. It's really good.
Oh my god! I gotta move this around.
Anytime you have a quest item in Act 2, please.
Yeah, those quest items take up so much space.
Yep. We need a Haradra cube, thank you.
For the stash,
Yeah.
for the inventory. It's very, very satisfying.
Actually, to bring up something on that, I've almost died 3 times running certain maps, and you're running with this is just an example. You're running with a magic finder in a 6-man party on a map that's got like 150, 170% quantity on the map, and you end up killing the boss, and the whole screen explodes with loot, and your inventory is full, and you pick up an item, and you can't drop it on the floor because it's like the floor is covered with items. You can't put it in your inventory because your inventory is full and a monster's attacking you.
And you can't move.
Yeah, you can't exactly. And then you can double tap Z to like refresh your screen, but sometimes literally the whole entire screen is filled with items. So
another quality of life I'd like to see, I mentioned this to my stream, is when you're running up, like in a map I always prefer to run up because you have more vision. When you're running down, it's like you have half the vision. Maybe not half, but it's definitely limited compared to when running up. And Roa charging, you don't have enough reaction time sometimes when you're walking down on a map. And it would be great if they can kind of balance that out somewhat, or make an option to make the HUD a little bit smaller so we can get a little bit more vision. I don't know, that's just me. Do you have any issues with that, Pox?
yes, I always will clear my map so I can see the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So like certain maps like Bazaar, for example, and other ones, it's usually, it's random left or right, but I will always clear so I can see my screen so I'm not going down. Like any map I have to clear going down is a nightmare because you don't know, as you said, you don't know. You have like 50% less vision. You can't see the leaper until it's on your face. And
Mountain
stuff like
ledge.
That. Yeah. Well, mountain ledge usually you get the option of like left or right.
But then if you go up, you're eventually gonna have to come down. So like
yeah.
Go up one side, down the other, down the middle, and up the other side. That's kind of the way it's been running.
I would like to see that, but I understand that it's probably hard for them to work around too. I understand that, but that would be great in the future. Oh yeah, and we can't even sort our MTX tabs. That I still don't understand. It's like it's the OCD, and you start twitching when you look at your MTX tab, and it's like all mismatch and everything. Or you try to take off an MTX, and it doesn't go to the tab, or it doesn't take off because your tab is full, and you have to go to a tab that's empty. Oh, that crap. First world problems right there, though.
Well, just a waste of space.
Yep. Oh man. So right now we're going to go into the Q&A section. If you guys are wondering, this is the part where you guys ask us questions. If you haven't done so throughout the podcast, ask a direction at one of us, a question directed at one of us, or at all.
Or all of us.
Yep. And we will go ahead and fire it off. Please, have your questions more specific to Pee-wee rather than specific streamers. Like, what build are you working on? just tried to bring in more about, hey, what do you think that this is going to happen to Act 4? Something along those lines. Do we have any questions to fire off right now?
We do. First up, we have one from Seiko. Fortify equals buff, aka affected by buff effect, inner force, devotion, question mark. So we didn't even talk about this when we were talking about inner force, but it should be affected by buff effect, like the inner force, so that's pretty much mandatory. Oh, like, that seems like super strong, super strong.
Maybe they'll tag it the same thing they tag the charges. If you guys don't know, the 3 charges, Frenzy, Power, and Endurance charges do not scale with buff effectiveness. Perhaps this will be the same case, but if it is, Devotion becomes an even better node, as does Inner Force.
Yeah, so far they've called it a buff, so we'll see, we'll see.
I think if that inner force buff increases duration or increases the amount of damage, that I think that'd be a pretty interesting trip to get that then.
I don't think it's going to work with inner force. Just not based off mechanics or anything, just based off the fact of it will be one. I know GG doesn't like kind of forcing people into getting stuff, and 2, that is just gonna be insane. Like if we date back. Inner Force was OP. Everyone got it. It was like 50% buff effect, and then Inner Force got nerfed, and then it got nerfed again.
By moving
and then it got moved, and then they would pretty much give it a buff again almost because you can use it with a melee weapon. You can use Vigilance Check with a melee weapon. So I don't think that's gonna happen. I could totally be wrong here, but
they did say it was a buff. Roy did use that exact verbiage, so.
Well, they can make. Remember, this is a whole new act as well. They're going to be adding introducing new things, so they could, as we were talking about before, exile it so it doesn't interact with a specific section.
Oh, we'll see. If it does, it's going to be ridiculously
Yeah,
strong.
I agree that it probably shouldn't affect it, but I think based on the current mechanics that it will. But yeah, if you're spending all your time keeping Fortify up specifically on your character, then you're going to get Inner Force and you're going to get Devotion. I mean, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah. Welcome back, Blender Bill.
I'll be right back. If next question's direct, then you just skip.
Sure thing. The empty screen asks, for those of you who try Acquisition for the first time this league, how did it compare to Procurement? Did either of you guys try Acquisition?
Xeno has. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I have not.
I heard about it about a week and a half ago. You should try Acquisition, and I just haven't done it.
Oh.
Okay, well I can pick up on this one. I always used Procurement up until this league, and since everyone has been raving about Acquisition, I thought I'd give it a go. It's been heaps buggy for me. I've had a lot of issues with it just not working sometimes, having errors, scanning things. So I've had a lot of bugs with it, but when it works really well. It's not pretty. It's not as user-friendly as Procurement. It's not as visual. But it is much faster, much lighter, and much more automated. So instead of having to go in and refresh the tabs or reboot Procurement, which is what I used to do to refresh all the tabs in one go, and then click update shop thread, wait for it. It took like a couple minutes to update the shop thread. Click bump thread. Now basically, once you set everything up, once you price the tabs, you drop an item in the tab, it automatically updates your shop thread basically as soon as you do it. And it automatically flags you as online on POXYZ through some sort of black magic. I don't know how it works, but you don't ever need to bump your shop thread, and you still show up as online, and your stuff still gets bumped to the top when it gets updated. I don't know how it's working, but yeah, it works really well. Like when it does work, it works really well. It's super automated, just so easy.
Sounds like I need to go download that thing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's tough. I'm
between the two. Really basic, so I don't really see the need for me to switch. Like all I do with Procurement is after a day's work of farming, I just upload it to my shop, and that's it.
Well, if you like really hands-off, which it sounds like you do, Pox, then you probably will like Acquisition then, because you basically don't need to ever touch it. Then you just leave it open in the background and it does its thing.
Yeah.
But it's not colorful.
Pox. Okay, so it is a picture book if you click on the item. This is the Acquisition versus Procurement debate, correct?
Yeah, people were asking how we found Acquisition if we moved from Procurement.
Okay, so Procurement, I have actually moved to Acquisition because, one, I don't have to wait 30 years for that damn thing to load. You keep it up, it automatically refreshes. You can automatically update your shop. It doesn't take forever. Procurement, it's a great program because it was like the first of its kind. But I feel like Acquisition is just instant. You get your satisfaction right away.
Yeah, I used Procurement and loved it for ages. Just Acquisition is just so heavily automated and so fast. It's like
amazing.
someone in chat says, what's wrong with procurement? You just, if as long as you got 5 minutes, I'm like, we don't have to spend that 5 minutes with acquisition. That's the difference.
So
You
you're
can play for those 5 minutes.
so you're not going to go back to procurement then?
I might. The only thing I have an issue with acquisition at the moment is that I don't have a template for my shop, so it's literally just importing a list of priced items, which is pretty ugly compared to procurement for people browsing, and some people still do browse. So once I get a template set up for acquisition, so it makes my shop thread look good as well, then I'll probably transition over to it.
Right on.
As long as it doesn't have too many more bugs. If it has many more bugs, I might
I agree with
switch
you.
back.
Like if you go to your forum, it just says spoiler, and if you don't have a template.
Everyone's like, "No shop for it, Ziggy."
I
So
don't
I'm sorry,
really care.
procurement was so much sexier.
I mean, the
I'm sorry.
majority of the players use Peewee.trade right now, anyways, over
Yeah.
forums. But
Most people do, but there are still some people that like to browse and check out your shop. So, but yeah, it's just a matter of getting a template set up.
I think I see both sides of it, though. I mean, if you browse and check your shop, then you might see something. Oh, hey, there you go. There's an idea for another build. Or I think that window shopping is okay in both contexts.
apparently, Beast just got updated. I'm going to take a
Oh,
look.
so last one, Comb just started standing up. Is he about to?
It's still the
smash our face
same.
in?
Never mind. It's still the same.
They're trolling us.
We got trolled.
We got trolled. Wow, that was some dank trollage.
Maybe how many different slides have they put up now?
6 or 7?
6 or 7?
Seven.
Man, that's interesting. He's coming at you, man. That means it's coming, guys. Y'all hyped?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hyped for Act 4. Just to see as a first transition out of one league into another major league or a major patch or a major expansion. What did they say was the total end game? Something like 10 acts in one difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
That's do we still a
That
long
was
way
what
to
they
go.
said, a little while back. Yeah.
So
I don't know if they're still going for that, because they said they would remove a difficulty with each act, but I think they've said they're probably going to do that with the next act, and we're going to keep our difficulties this time. So we'll see if they, that was their long-term vision a while back, but we'll see if they are still going for that or not. Okay, shall I bring up the next question then?
Fire away.
Okay, from Crazy Kev, at Zenus/Genius, are they going to nerf Dominus? How will it work after Act 4 on Merciless? So what do you guys reckon is going to happen with Dominus?
I think they're going to keep him the same as is. I think it's an important gear check. Dominus, you know, after you've done him so many times, you're not really intimidated by him in Normal and Cruel. At least I'm not. I haven't bought a kill since Nemesis. Like, when it first came out and I was still noob, I used to buy kills. But, like, even in Nemesis, once you learn the fight, you're good to go. I think it's going to be more people buying kills off for the new boss. Merciless Dom, yeah, he'll one-shot you if you get hit, but so will Merciless Vol, with the Touch of God or the Vol Smash. I don't think he's really that bad, because you can do Resonance Dom. He starts to hurt Palace Dom pretty easy as well. I mean, that you have the potential of dying to them, but I don't think Merciless Dominus is nearly as scary as he once was.
I think the fact that once you learn the mechanics of the fight, it becomes systematic, and you can gear for said mechanic. And so buying the new guy until we know the mechanics, so yeah, we're probably going to die to the guy.
The only thing I consider scary in the fight is that Whipper. The Whipper, that chaos damage can hurt. Mm-hmm. Really.
I think that in a racing perspective, this is going to be a blast to do them with like 2k HP, 2.3k HP.
Yeah.
With not cap. Well, you'll be capped res at least there by then.
Is this coming from the guy who did level 59 in maps? Was that it?
Yeah, I was mapping at 59. That was me.
Okay.
I agree that Dominus is a pretty mechanical fight now that a lot of us are used to it. But I still think the step up from Merciless Piety to Merciless Dominus is a massive leap. Even though mechanics. I mean, the reality is it's a mechanical fight, but you're gonna get hit.
Mm-hmm.
And he has HP that you have to take off of him in order to get past the fight. I think it probably should be toned down a bit, and they are going to be scaling the levels of a lot of zones and stuff. So I'd expect that it maybe gets scaled in some way. I wouldn't be surprised if it's scaled back a couple levels or something.
I think that really fast. I think that to be fair, I think Scepter of God needs to be toned down for newer players, because the problem with it is doors, and you open a door, and then there's 10 leapers on your face. And for newer players, you just came from Devourers. Now you're fighting leapers, dogs, evangelists, Caliga, which will like insta kill you if you jump over his lightning traps, and then you make it to Dominus, where if you're on a laptop, you've got 3 frames per second, and it's like a big step.
It's a push.
Yeah.
But I remember
Top 3 frames per second. Come on.
the first time I progressed through, up to Dominus, I was just scared out of my face. Just the whole time. Well, what does this guy do? What does this guy do? Why is this guy? Why did I get hit by this dude? And why is my stuff going slower? And what's going on? And so it's definitely for the first couple of times you do it, you're wary. But the more we get used to it, of course, we'll learn everything, and it'll be more comfortable, and we'll be like, let's go kill whoever, Comb or the big golem behind him or whatever. So.
So what do we got for our next question here?
A lot of people are asking a similar sort of questions, so this is on topic what we were just talking about. They're asking, do we think the levels are going to be scaled and changed? There was actually a screenshot, the clock screenshot, that showed the quality of life, that showed there's a zone at a different level to what it is in-game now. It was like 1 level less or something like that. I do really, since we're not removing a difficulty, I do fully expect that they will be leveling out the zone level curve, and maybe some zones will repeat a level, there'll be a smoother curve, and I think they'll be rebalancing a lot of the zone levels for sure, so that it's a little bit less spiky like it is now.
With the level zones the way they are, you can still run 67 areas, well into your 70s, and I think that's good. And I think with the progression of Act 4, you're going to be able to grind some specific areas a little bit longer without having to go into the map pool.
Yeah, if there's any good farming zones in Act 4, we could be getting people into 75 or something outside of maps, and they might push maps back even. I would be surprised if maps start at 70.
I wish everything was just fluid. Like Pox 59 going into maps is.
No, that's it. That 59, man. I've been in there in 54.
Well, you won't get any experience.
Yeah,
in
this
there.
was
No. I wasn't. I was just like, man, I'm tired of running up here. Let's go kill Piety, and we're really low levels. People running with a party, and you're just kind of getting carried through it. And like, I'm 54. Let's go do maps. Let's go do that. Yeah. Why not?
This was my self-found character when the 1 month first started. I was the first person to start mapping at 59 self-found, and let me tell you about. Everything crits you at 59 when you're fighting 66. Everything. Porcupine explodes, 2k damage. Well, okay.
When you have 2.3?
Yep.
It would be nice for it to be very fluid, the leveling process, and hopefully they do that. Is it a problem right now? No, it's a problem maybe for a new player. That's about it. But if you maps is like that next tier, that next step, and you when you hear a new player say, "I'm finally starting maps for the first time," more times than not, I hear them say, "I'm level 71, I'm level 70," because they're scared and they prep up for it, rather than us going in there at lower levels.
The level change from when I first started. I would get into Merciless, and I would run the ledge until I was about 10 levels over. It was just way ridiculous because I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know the damage. And now running this season of the races, I'm comfortable being 2 levels below until you get to Merciless, and then you try to stay even. Or that's the way I do it. But I don't know. Do you guys see higher level maps instead of 78? You start seeing 85 level maps. Depending on the changes.
If anything, hopefully more 78 maps and more 77 and even 76. I doubt there'll be 79 plus, because I think GGG's even said in the past the leveling curve, they like it where it's around they didn't like it when it was 3 weeks and you were level 100. They actually like it to be more of a feat than boom, you're level 100 if you just put in the time.
So you're saying more options of higher level maps, and
yes.
more drops of higher level maps.
There's only so much courtyard you can do.
True.
Exterminator asks, do you think they'll add more passive points from questing in Act 4?
They hinted about in the Q&A.
Yes.
You do?
I'd like to see a new bandit type system too, and a change to the beginning bandits, 40 mana, let's get it. But we've mentioned this in the past as well.
Yeah. How many people take that res off of the Kraken?
I did when I first started.
Yep.
Yep.
Because
sounds pretty
Diablo,
good when you first
need
start,
all res.
This was my. I was like, wow, it's really hard to cap your resist. How about I just take the resist from Creighton here, and I'll get more life on my gear. That was me when I first started.
Yep. I think it's
I was thinking that the same thing, but being not playing, I played closed beta till level 8, and then the guys I was playing with quit playing, so I was like, I guess I'm done. And coming back now, 90% of the people in the chat have a wider range of knowledge than I do, and they're like, yeah, you don't need that, dude. You don't need that. Go get the life. So I don't think I've ever taken it. I would like to see a point where maybe they take that res from the first area and put it in maybe the third, or in another place instead of in normal, because you don't need it in normal.
Well, I think they're just change it altogether, because the res in Merciless would be the same, because the whole reason you would pick up 8 res is no matter what difficulty you're in, it's 8 res.
Right.
Even if it's end, and if it was in the end, I wouldn't pick it up at all ever.
Probably not. I think power charges. I think the charges are probably better off being where they are.
True.
I don't know. I mean, it's a decent idea. Maybe make that res a little bit more, so maybe it's more appealing, or take it out altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd like to see passive points in Act 4. I feel like that's just pure power creep. I mean, they may make other things more difficult elsewhere, but I feel like if we just keep adding passive points to our builds and just making us get more and more things on the tree, I feel like that'll hurt build diversity. But what I would like to see is another bandit-style option of interesting stats that, what we've gotten with Masters recently, some kind of like off-color stats that can be used to flesh out and further define your builds. So let's talk like Merciless Act 4. You start to get something that would only really have an impact, like you get some options between different stats that would only have it.
Lightning, fire, and lightning leech would be good.
Yeah, just sort of like little off-color things like that are obviously going to add some power, but they more further build definition, more to define builds further.
No, that would help out casters a lot, and I'm sure we could come up with more ideas like that.
More AOE, a couple percent more AOE.
Honestly, like normal should be like that. Shoot, like freaking.
Yeah, I'd like to see some in the theme of the master mods available as options. That'd be pretty good, I think, rather than pure passive points.
Why not? We're going back. That's off topic right now, but going back to those level maps. Why not a rare map where you have to fight the masters? We already fight Vegan anyway, but have just have an Uber of forgotten masters or whatever they are. That'd be interesting to see.
Well, they mentioned they won't have Forsaken Masters this go around, but they said they're open to the idea in the future. Honestly, I would love to have a Flask Master, like a Flask Master.
Yeah, Flask Master would be amazing. Just automatically, how many alts do you guys spend trying to get that bleed?
Okay, just roll bubbling now. Roll bubbling.
I would be the happiest guy on earth if there was a Flask Master.
The ability to add a third affix to Flask.
Oh my god, I would be so happy. I'd make sure my characters have no more above 4k life than Flask Master.
Just rely on Flask.
That's what they do now. I run 3 life flasks and 2 quicksilvers. That's my builds.
Flask is the strongest defensive mechanic, man. It's true.
Do you remember the buff they did? They like doubled or tripled life flasks a while back.
You were so happy.
Yeah, and then added the life flask stuff to the tree as well.
Yeah, Seething Hollows were like 400. Wait, sorry, what are Seething Hollows right now? How much are they right now?
Like 900?
I like that change.
Yeah, they were like 300 back then, right? 400?
No rare flasks, just like, be able to,
I don't want rare
able to put Staunching on it for 6 alterations. I'd do that every freaking time. Because I'll spend 12 just to get one.
Options for flasks outside of what there already is.
Yeah, that's true too.
I've got a random question for everybody.
7.
Sure.
Some new skills. What would you like to see on your new skills? Not existing skills, but brand new ones. And the only one that I can come up with is a channeled cold spell. We got channeled tendrils. We got incinerate. There's nothing for cold.
Do I hear Diablo coming through your mouth right now?
No, I've never seen it. Not really.
Frozen Ray, man.
I agree.
I've never. I
Yeah.
don't. I played Demon Hunter, man. I
No.
didn't
They
play
did say
Wizard.
we're getting multiple new cold skills in this patch, so it's not outside the realm
Yeah.
of possibility.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see fire to cold. I'd like to see lightning to physical, or whatever. Just some reverses of some of the things that we've seen now, so we don't
They-
have to get Avatar
terms of
fire
conversion,
and stuff like that.
yeah,
way
they
how
won't change
conversion-
the conversions.
The way how conversion works is physical could turn to anything, and then there's like it's like a flow chart. Lightning could turn
Yeah.
to everything but physical, and then cold could turn to everything but lightning and physical, and then fire could turn to chaos, but nothing else. There's no reverse. You can go
Yeah.
down, but you can't go up.
It's a very specific setup, and it won't change.
Yeah. So conversion's
yeah,
out.
Just that in the past.
Yeah. I talked about this before, but I want to see, not like I have to see, I would be cool to see a new category of spells come out. So like we have Novas, we have, forgot about everything else, but just a new category would be really cool. Just a new mechanic to them, or
A channeled skill would be cool. We already have Incinerate, you know, one of those.
one thing I like
Yeah, that's
about
it, yeah.
I like about hearing a channeled spell of cold is among the lines of how he was saying we have channeled. It's I like seeing mobs go down in increments of damage. It just feels really nice for some like kind of like degen, but incremental damage. How lightning tendrils works, and there's nothing like that with cold. It's just it's just big hits that kill you with the Reflect Kappa.
Glacial Cascade kind of like that, but it's awkward. It's not fluid like you like.
It's 2 to 4 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cascade.
Don't hate on it. I've grown to love it, Ziggy. I've grown
Just
to love
the AoE, the shape of it. It feels so frustrating to play at endgame. It's good for leveling, but
The Gore MTX is just gross, man.
that does look pretty cool. But
It's awesome.
it. But yeah, I do agree.
Yeah.
I think cold spells are just like, boom, you're dead to reflect. I do feel like that right now. Like Ice Spear, just hard hitting freaking average damage skills. Cold Snap, Freezing Pulse even.
Ice
to some
Shot.
extent. Ice Shot.
damn, all ice skills. Like,
All ice skills are
super
very
effective, aren't they?
consistent high average damage because there is no low, like lightning's low end, high end. It's very inconsistent. Fire damage
Currently,
is
their way of
kind of
dealing
like
with
that.
reflectors cold to fire.
Yeah.
yeah.
Big
All right,
cool
all right.
Blizzard. What do we got? What's next?
Okay. What will happen with loot pickup of filtered items? Will we be picking up white items just by clicking on the ground, as can sometimes happen currently? Would be nice if key pickup option was not required. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like when you turn off loot inside of that crypt map. What's it called? That crypt map where you get guaranteed to get a unique.
Coward's Trial.
Coward's Trial. You know, you just constantly accidentally picking up crap when you're just trying to go
Yep.
over and kill mobs.
Yeah.
That is frustrating.
I
and
mean,
I agree.
there's an option for hold alts to pick up
Yeah,
items.
I don't like using key
Neither
pickup.
do I.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
I don't know.
It would be nice if I don't think this will be coming with the loot filtering, but it would be nice if they added into the loot filtering. So if you're listening to ZiggyD, I think a lot of people would like this, to not be able to accidentally pick up things that were filtered out.
Yes.
Oh man,
I mean,
how many
that's basically
times?
completely removing them from the game, but that's kind of what people want.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many guys play in parties. I love playing in parties. That's my thing. Trying to help out as many people and getting some help myself at the same time. But you're sitting there clicking, click, and something drops and you don't have it on permanent allocation, and you're like, oh my God, what? Why do I have this in my stash? Yeah, so I could see that being very beneficial.
Someone
Yeah.
keeps asking about Enhance in chat. Where is he?
Yeah, I've got this question next, actually. It's from Soft Juice. Enhance/Enlighten. Isn't it too underused, underpowered? Empower is nearly several times more useful. So, if I may, I'd like to kick off on this one. Currently, so he's talking about with the potential revamp of quality bonuses of skills, it becoming, Enhance becoming more popular. Enlighten's kind of like a separate thing, it's kind of whatever. But I think Enhance is an interesting one. It boosts the quality of gems, and with new qualities, there's some potential there that it could be seeing some more use, of course. But I think the main thing that it isn't used for more skills now is it's only currently used on skills that don't have that many options for damage boosting support gems. So something like Poison Arrow, for example, the quality is AoE, which is pretty decent, but there's not many 6th support gems that you can use in a 6 link with Poison Arrow. I mean, you can use like faster and slower projectiles if you want to get a little bit more damage, but that's when you start using Enhance. When there's a skill like that, there's not many other good options for. That's when it starts to become more attractive. But, you know, what do you guys reckon?
Enhance, really fast, is actually really, really strong for curses, and a lot of people don't ever get to that point in the game. But popping, like, quality on elemental weakness Is it
Stupid good.
1% penetration per 2%
not
quality?
penetration, reduce.
Sorry. Yeah, per 2%. It's pretty nuts, and popping an enhance on it, because usually your curse would go your weapon if it's a 3-link, or your shield. Usually that's where curses go. With like faster casting, put in said curse, and whatever you would use. Or I guess other people nowadays use curse on hit. So I think it's pretty neat where it goes in right now. It's just very niche. That's the only problem.
Enhance is very good for utility in general. For
it's
sure.
good for it's pretty much BIS for Firestorm. Firestorm gives you. It causes the balls to fall down quicker, so enhance is like a given for that because it works well with duration, and you have more coming down at that. It's good for Arctic Armor, move speed, and then curses. So those are the ones I usually use it for. But enhance it's very specific. It's good. I don't think it's useless. And then enlighten, enlighten actually has a use if you use it in Katarina's the Katarina, the tag, the prefix, her weapon slot. It gives +1 to support gems. So if you if you buy level 2 enhance, which are about 5 chaos, you put it in there. Now you have a level 3 enhance, and you can level gems quicker with the +1 to Katarina support gem.
Mathematically, though, isn't it better just to have a 3rd gem in there leveling rather than
perhaps?
To have
It depends how
you're leveling
fast.
a specific gem.
Yes, if you're trying to get a gem quicker to 20 to use, it has a use, opposed to having 3 gems get to 20. You're right, though, Ziggy. It's whatever you prefer.
It's typically for power.
How would it affect the offhand slot then?
No, you just put it in your second stash, your second weapon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in your weapon swap.
Your
Yeah.
weapon swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
Enhanced Blood Rage is another good one too.
I find those a lot, but I don't ever use them because I tend to die before I get them level 2. You know.
Val Orbing. Love Val Orbing and powers and
Love Valor.
It just shoots up a level.
yeah, it's good stuff.
I actually have a level 4 enhance in freaking standard, and it's amazing. And then I freaking you throw it in one of those +1 to all or +3 to all. Or +3 saves. It's freaking crazy. But yeah.
I've been Val Orbing just random nonsense. Like I Val Orbed a 68 map and it pops up a 70. It's interesting. It pops up 70 yellow. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna do this one.
What do we got for our last question? This is it. This is the final question.
Alright, last question I got here is from Varone1. It says, thoughts on temporary challenges being such that people can pay their way to get carried to on-boss kills, area clears, in order to get an MTX. Should it be more of a personal challenge, as I think it should? So what do you guys think about people paying for boss kills and stuff in challenge leagues? That have a specific challenge for those?
The currency's down there. Use it how you want to. That's if they want to pay for a boss kill, let them pay for a boss kill.
That's what I think. They earn the currency. That was just another way of getting to the boss kill.
I think it's fine. I paid a dude 6 chaos to kill a Treasy for mine in softcore.
Treasy? It's Siri.
I know, it's
Same
Treasy,
thing.
man.
Treasy.
Treasy. They used to call it as well.
Oh my god.
Mr. Evil.
But that's how it is.
I mean, there's multiple ways to skin a counter, right? There's multiple ways to get there. And that's a part of it. As long as they're not like bringing a currency from standard into the 1 month challenge league, which is against the terms of service, then I think they've earned their way there just in another fashion. And of course, just like self-found challenges, you have the option of doing it self-found if you want. If you want to have the challenge be for you to kill the boss by yourself specifically, then you still have that option. It's not taken away from you.
I think it's one of those things where they leave the players to do their own thing. Hey, I'm a grown-ass man. If I want to say no to this, I can say no. Do I want this? Nope. I want to be self-found. Thank you very much. I don't need it.
There's no reason to come out with pitchforks. He bought a boss kill him. Like, I mean, come on, who cares? Who cares?
So I'd be like a hypocrite if I said I didn't like it because I sell them all the time. So I can't say I don't like it since I don't really like trading. But that's like instant gratification. You just kill the boss for them, and so I'm on the other side of saying like, yeah, it's cool to have it like that. But another thing is with this challenge, the kill was not required to get it. So like every piece of gear was gained by doing different things. So you could like essentially with the boss kill, the boss kill only gives you 25% of your set. So it's not like you had to do everything and then kill the boss to get the full set. So I think that it's actually okay the way it was positioned.
Anyone who says the challenge is that too many people are getting the sets, that's the point. You figured it out. Congratulations. It's supposed to be a fun 1 month.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. I mean, like,
If you
Would they say the first log was like 200 and something people actually had the full set?
Yeah, which is great because if you want to be the elitist, if you want it to be hard, go top 20. Get your alternate art demi. But the whole point of this set was this is the first time GG's ever given out MTXs that will never exist again kind of thing. You know, they had the 2-week race, but you still had to purchase it. They're giving you something for free. All you have to do is play. That's amazing. So don't cry that people are getting it. This hopefully more of this comes in the future, where you get a cool looking set that the only reason you got this set was because you earned it through playing the game, not through your dollar, not through dollar signs. I'm really happy they did something like this.
I don't think the question asked was really crying about things. I think it's a legitimate question, the idea that these challenges, and when you work hard towards killing the boss yourself, you're like, well, it's like I feel like everyone should have had to have gone what I went through. But Path of Exile is a pretty sandboxy game. The idea is that there's multiple ways to get to doing things, and that's the way of it. There are other challenges that they can make and that they have made that you can't just as easily just pay your way towards getting the challenge. Like getting to 80, sure, you can get people to like give you waypoints and boss kills and stuff to get you on your way there. You still kind of have to get to 80 yourself, though.
Yep.
Like
I still think it's kind of a hey, quit telling me how to play my game type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like let's take the example of someone getting to 80, right? Maybe let's say they paid basically to get to 80 by buying into a bunch of Untainted Paradises. But what they did to earn the currency to do that was they magic farmed a boss. They magic farmed Piety for ages to get all the currency to buy the Untainteds. They still earned their way to the challenge, just in a different way.
Though they still had to go through and stay alive in that Untainted Paradise. So,
So I think it's pretty cool that we have options of the way we approach these challenges.
now as for some of those Untainteds, I've been in 2. Didn't have to pay for any of them. I'm not one to charge people for a lot of stuff. You know, if it's over 4 chaos or something, okay, come on, give me whatever you think is fair, or do you need this, or you need this boss? I'm not gonna charge you for this. That's just me. I'm not gonna charge people for a lot of stuff. But some other people out there, they're like, gimme, and then that's fine. They can price it whatever they want to.
Someone brings up a good point. Buying the Atsiri kills when they offered first 50 kills, but the Sanguine and the Cerulean set, there is no first 50. It's just everybody can win. There's no limit of how many people, so it's fine. I think purchasing a boss kill, maybe purchasing a boss kill for Atsiri would be entirely different. I do agree with that.
I kind of get why that feels different, because it's supposed to be a much bigger challenge. But I still feel the same way about it, that they still had to earn the currency to be able to do it. And if earning the currency to buy the boss kill was so easy, then you can do that yourself too. If it's actually easy, it's actually it takes a bit of work to earn the currency to be able to buy the 50 boss kills.
Yep.
Indeed, it's also one of those other things that hey, I did it on softcore. I bought the Treasy kill on softcore just because I'm not a softcore player. I wanted to get off of softcore and get back into hardcore as fast as I can.
There it is.
Yeah. So one thing I did want to bring up is, since the challenges were actually not too difficult, they're obtainable by a good amount of players. At least some of them are. It actually helped a lot of people take that step of let me try out hardcore. Let me see how it's gonna go. It's not too hard to do all the masters. I can die and my progress stays there. I can make a new character, etc. And I think that's also a good step. It's not like they've done super easy things like this that are really rewarding all the time. It's one of the first times I've ever done this, and I think it's good to show people, like, here's a reward. Try out this league or try out this league. See how you like it. You put in some effort, you get some rewards from it. So I think it was a good idea. Like, I liked it overall.
What do you guys think of the set?
I like it.
I think the red one looks alright, but that blue one had my name all over it, and I was like, I wasn't gonna do the softcore, but I was like, I gotta get that blue set. I was like, that set is me. I gotta put that thing on. But as
red one looks sick with the gold wings though.
That is true. As I'm going through, I'm putting each piece on one at a time, and when I got to the boots and the chest of the blue, and I still had the gloves and the helmet of the red, it looked amazing. It looked really cool.
Well,
get to mix them up a bit. I like that too. It's cool.
Oh yeah.
I like them.
I just want to say before we head out, thanks Sir Venom for coming on. I hope you enjoyed being part of this show. If you guys don't know who he is, you can go to twitch.tv/SirVenomIK. Toss him a follow. He's a good guy. He's going for Twitch partnership. He's been around for a while. Came over from Diablo with another group of guys, but he's here to stay. Thanks a lot for coming on board, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Hopefully I dropped some interesting new people feels.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome stuff.
It was a lot of fun, man.
You make one hell of a mean face at your kid when you turn on a microwave. Just wanted to say.
I was like, right off. I had them. I was like, I wasn't sure how long this was going to go.
We got about another
He said
minute.
five or something like that. But they went to a movie. I said, y'all gonna have to leave because I have a lot of background noise sometimes, and because of the location that I'm in at the house. The kitchen's right there, and the TV's right there. And sometimes the people on the stream can hear the TV better than the people in the house can. so it's yeah. I gotta make sure that they to be all kosher for you guys because this is y'all stuff.
Absolutely. Well, this concludes this week's episode. If the teasers keep rolling out like they have been, expect us next week. Tentative, but expect us every week until it gets slow again.
Some full-on State of Exile action. Oh.
Also, this is 1 year. This marks 1 year, 1 episode. So this is the first episode of the next year, the second year of State of Exile. So here's to another year.
I know, man.
Awesome. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in for all these episodes, guys.
Heck yeah, man. I've gone back and I've seen the progress, man. It's just getting better. Every episode is better than the last one.
All right. You got to say anything, Pox?
No, just thanks everyone, for tuning in. It's a lot of fun. So
I'm surprised you didn't say Kappa. Wow.
No Kappa.
I said I went the whole way without doing anything with drop bears.
Oh, he did.
No.
Good
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Good job.
Everyone, can I get a Kappa clap? Thank you very much. This concludes this episode. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
Goodbye, guys.
Wait for the delays,
I'm
Salute.
freaking waiting. I'm waiting, Ziggy.
So about those mounted drop bears with the
Still
roas.
waiting.
Vroom, vroom, vroom,
I'm
vroom,
still
vroom.
waiting.
See if it's fixed up or not.
There's the Kappa claps.
Kappa collapse.